You may have seen documentaries or photographs of many natural wildlife habitats being littered with trash, mainly plastics and other human-made materials that are just out there accumulating. Or maybe you may have seen trash floating in your community, perhaps in local grocery stores, or maybe even in your own home. Did you also know there's a garbage patch out in the Pacific Ocean known as the Great Pacific Garbage Patch that is the size of Texas? Now, many animals and other wildlife that inhabit that area have have been killed by ingesting the pollution, or perhaps getting entangled by the pollution, or being cut by the pollution in different ways. Now, today we're going to discuss the the properties that recycling has, or the importance that recycling has, not only on the environment, but it creates jobs, and it conserves natural resources and other materials for the future. Now, most of the information I'm going to be sharing with you today comes from EPA.gov and friendsoftheearth.uk. Now, firstly, as mentioned before, when things are not recycled or trash is output, it goes into many environments, many habitats, and of course, this has an effect on the wildlife that lives there. According to the EPA.gov, at least 100,000 marine animals are killed every year because of the pollution that is out there. And that's just for the marine population. For other natural wildlife habitats, there is greater numbers that are out there. And now, of course, when things are recycled, there will be less pollution and garbage, and mainly plastics that are being output out there. And so, the more people recycle, the less pollution there will be. And this, in turn, will have a positive effect on environments, not only natural environments, but perhaps your community as well. I don't believe anybody would like to see trash just piled up by grasses or other things, or even by beaches. Nobody wants to go to a beach and see trash littered on the floor and everywhere. And I'm sure the wildlife will appreciate the absence of trash as well. Now, secondly, recycling also helps to create jobs. And imagine if the recycling industry was diminished or abolished. There would be less jobs, and perhaps even a shortage of jobs. Now, many people depend on those jobs, including their children or families that depend on that job. And so, this is important since recycling creates a whole industry of jobs that are important for the economy, and as well as the people who rely on these jobs for a living. And now, the more people recycle, the more jobs there will be. And according to the EPA.gov, at least 1.7 jobs are created for at least every 1,000 tons of recycled material being output out there. And thirdly, recycling also creates, or it helps to conserve natural materials or resources out there. Now, these natural resources can include minerals, trees, and other assets important to future generations. Now, imagine your future generation or grandchildren. Would you want them to live a life that's cleaner, more renewable, as opposed to now? Now, we can change that if we increase the amount of recycling we do and the amount of recycling output that's out there. And so, when recycling conserves minerals and materials, less trash is put out there, less trees are cut down, and more energy is conserved. For instance, recycled cardboard or material papers, all that fiber material. For every 40% that's recycled, there is a far less amount of energy being used, which is better for the environment and for us as well. And so, lastly, we went over the importance recycling has on the environment as well as wildlife. Second, we went over the importance that recycling has on jobs and the economy. And lastly, we went over the importance of recycling has on conservation and our resources as well. And now, of course, pollution won't just disappear overnight, or it won't get better just instantaneously, but with the more effort we put, the more people recycling out there, then the less trash will be affecting wildlife and habitats as well. And I'm sure the more we recycle, the more cleaner our communities will be, the more safer and environments will be out there for animals, not as for us, but for them as well. And I want to thank you